Well, hello Riven mains and Yasuo mains alike. I am the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. So, with the 2019 League of Legends season over, we are about to head into 2020. There's going to be a lot of great League of Legends plays and tournaments to come into the year. But today I'm going to talk to you guys about, well, the Western League of Legends scene and who are the most popular teams as of 2019 in terms of viewership. I'm not talking about valuation. I'm not talking about their Twitter followers. I'm talking about popular Western teams in terms of viewers. Results came in. Fnatic, G2, and Team Liquid are 2019's most popular league teams based on viewerships. Now, the numbers for G2 and TL might be a little bit higher than other Western teams because they did go to MSI. Remember, they had an extra added representation being at that tournament because remember, MSI is only for spring champions from each competitive league. Now, it's actually pretty interesting that Fnatic and G2 are two of the Western teams that a lot of people are fans of. I mean, obviously, I'm a G2 fan as well, but a lot of people actually seem to like TL now. I remember TL being that 4th place Piglet team. I remember their relegation period, but they've really come a long way. Steve has really got TL to be at the level that he's wanted for so long, and I'm really happy for him. But the LEC dominated the charts this year. This past year was one of the best years for competitive League of Legends in the West. From Team Liquid winning the LCS Championship for the 4th time in a row to G2 Esports winning MSI, Europe and North America have both made some big strides to success in 2019. Among their peers, however, Fnatic, G2, and Liquid stood tall as the 3 most popular Western League of Legends teams this year, according to Esports charts. This news does make sense, though. All 3 teams were the most popular organizations in their region. And to really break down that, I would say that whenever TL actually plays and you see their games popping up on like Twitch or you see their games popping up on YouTube, you notice the viewerships go up, and you also notice that as well with Cloud9 and TSM. When very popular Western teams obviously play, they get more viewership. Like when Fnatic and G2 play, it's just like when Cloud9 versus TSM. It's always going to be a hype matchup. The rivalry is always going to build up hype. That's why Riot puts a lot of hype into those big clashes between those specific teams because they know it's going to be actually really big. Now, I'm going to check out the esports charts in just a moment, but looking at whatever they said right now and then kind of glancing over it to pass through this next point. Fnatic led the pack with 262,000 average viewers, while G2 trailed behind with an equally impressive 256,000 average viewers. Meanwhile, Liquid lagged behind the 2019 MSI champions with 244,000 viewers on average. The LEC dominated the viewership charts this year, though out of the top 10, only 3 LCS teams had high viewership number to compete. That's actually pretty crazy. And then they have the list right here. So these are some of the most popular League of Legends teams from the West moving onto this chart. And then I'll actually go into that in just a moment. The ever popular TSM had 240,000 average viewers, while Cloud9 had 213 average viewers. Origin, Splice, Team Vitality, SK Gaming, and Misfits lagged behind afterwards and filled the rest of the pack. These viewership numbers are also reflected the state of the competitive play since Europe was one of the best regions in the world in 2019. Next year, both the LCS and LEC will do battle once again with viewership. NA has welcomed a handful of new faces that could help inject some excitement into the league, while Europe is ushering in a ton of rookies from its thriving academy and regional leagues. The perpetual conflict between NA and EU will rage on next year when the 2020 spring split actually begins. Now, looking at the esports charts, let's actually look at their website. I never actually really looked at their website. I imagine they're actually a pretty good site if people are willing to credit them. Let's actually look at the chart. So, we're looking at all of these charts, and we're looking at who were really popular among the teams this year. Now, Fnatic, G2, and TL are obviously the most popular in terms of just the Western scene overall, but let's look at the LEC and EU differently. So, there are two major Western leagues for League of Legends, LEC in Europe and LCS in North America. Both attract a decent portion of public interest and are consistently being compared to each other. This time, we decided to talk about the most popular teams of the championships. We will divide the article into 3 parts. First, we will talk about the main competition in Europe. Then we will go to the participants of North America. Finally, we will conclude this with a comparison of results of these 2 leagues. The ranking itself will be based solely on average viewers for the team matches. Now, this is just for Europe. The most popular teams in terms of viewership for EU are Fnatic at number 1, G2 number 2, Origin at number 3, Splyce at number 4, and Vitality at number 5. Now, looking at this before I actually read anything makes a lot of sense. Fnatic and G2 are the powerhouses of EU, obviously. Origin has a lot of fans, seeing as though they have Deficio, they have Xpeke, they have Nukeduck, they have a lot of familiar faces that have a lot of fan bases who want to support the team. Origin was a loved organization when they were in EU, then they got relegated by having a really bad split, and when they came back, people were really happy about that. They already had a fan base, so that's something that's not really too bad per se, and I think that more Origin fans came in when they saw that they were actually doing really well. They were a top 3 team in EU for quite a bit of time until they actually just, started doing really bad. And I like that. I like that Origin came back and had a big resurgence after having a really bad exit to EU. Looking at Splyce, this is going to be not so comparable because you're factoring in there's quite a significant gap between Origin and Splyce games. Now, looking at how Splyce really did well against everybody else except for like top teams makes a lot of sense. But looking at how Splyce played and how people consistently trashed them for how badly they played their mid game out, people still watch them, which is actually pretty incredible. Now, Vitality, I think that a lot of their hype for their viewership came into their 2018 Worlds performance. Nobody was really checking for this team ever. I've watched this team when they actually had GBM on their team as a mid laner. Like, you guys remember that Vitality with Nukeduck and Vander? Yeah, garbage. Nobody was really checking for them, but people started checking for them after the 2018 Worlds, where they had the group of like Cloud9 and Gen.G and RNG, and then you saw them just be consistently garbage all year. Like, they were just bad all year. I mean, you can say that right now because that was just the truth. And going into next year, I don't think that any of these viewer numbers will significantly change. I think that G2 winning MSI really did boost up the viewership to EU, because obviously it means that Europe is going to be a world-class region, which I think they are in terms of a lot of things that the other regions can't do. And the way that they actually play the game, the way they actually see it. And looking at Fnatic going with all of their changes, that's going to be what I'm really interested in moving forward, is that can this new Fnatic roster overtake my boys in G2? I don't personally think so. I think they'll still be second place. I think they still have a lot of good things about them. They made a lot of upgrades in terms of what they're planning on doing, and I think it's really good. Looking at Origin, I can personally see that the players on Origin will be significantly kind of more cohesive than the last roster, but looking at how they're going to retain most of their viewers, I think they are. I think they made a good amount of decent upgrades to what they want to make better, and they're going to be a stronger team for it. And I think that their 2019 viewership reflects that moving into 2020. And that's actually pretty much what I can cover for EU right now, because Splyce are not going to be in next year. They're going to be Mad Lions, so that's a completely different brand, a completely different viewer base to grow. Vitality will probably end up slipping up to be number 4, literally just based off of, because one team is literally not there. But I think that you have room for other orgs to grow. Other orgs just need to start winning, because remember, the reason why people in EU only really kind of are big fans of Fnatic and G2 is because of them consistently winning. I mean, outside of that one Alliance split where Alliance won in 2014 summer, it's been pretty much G2 and Fnatic. Like, it's pretty much been just them. Other orgs have consistently talked about how they're gonna win a title and blah blah blah, but they never have. So it's like, your word means nothing until you actually do it. And I know that might sound kind of what's that word? what's the word I'm looking for right now? I know that might sound kind of, well, let's just use this word. I hate this word, but I know it sounds kind of mean, but really, if you've been talking this long about winning and you haven't won, it's been pretty much, it's like the same situation that North America had a long time ago of just it being Cloud9, TSM, and nobody else, and you had CLG in there at some points, and that's kind of what they're going through right now. It's just pretty much TSM and Cloud9 for them. It's G2 and Fnatic, and I think that's why they have a bulk of the viewers, and G2 and Fnatic making World Finals obviously is going to help boost up their fan bases, so let's see how 2020 reflects them. This season, Fnatic has become the most popular team of LOL European Championship. The matches of this team have attracted 262,000 average viewers. The total sum of hours watched for the two splits have reached the mark of 16 million. It seems that for Fnatic, the final of LOL Worlds 2018 was not without consequences. Everyone was eager to see how the team will show itself after such performance. The departure of Caps, the central star of the team, from the roster has added even more tension. The team, led by former stage star Ocelot, came only second in the European series. The Samurai have attracted 256,000 average viewers. The total hours watched for two parts of the league have reached 13 million. G2 Esports has fallen short of earnings the gold of the ranking by less than 8,000 viewers. This is despite the acquisition of MSI Championship title as well as participation and victories in two finals. What else should they do to achieve the title of most popular team? Third place in the opportunity ranking went to Origin. The matches of the team were watched by 212,000 average viewers. The total hours watched have reached 10 million. It is also worth noting that most of these numbers were received as part of the LEC Spring Split performance. To be more precise, 69% of this result was received in the spring. At the time, the team has arrived the second in the regular part and participated in the playoff final. Let's look at North America. Looking at North America, this looks not as bad as a lot of people would have actually thought to hope. I think that NA has a lot of good for it. It also has a lot of bad. It's not without its faults. I think that EU is also not perfect, but nothing ever is going to be perfect. There's always going to be stuff you can improve on. Now, let's look at North America. So, looking at the charts right here, before I actually read anything, TL, obviously, we know from previous talkings during the video that TL was going to be our most popular team. And seeing TSM and Cloud9, obviously, being second and third is perfectly okay. I think that Cloud9, as a fan, and you guys know I'm real, you guys know that I'm not going to be a fanboy biased trash can like some people are, but they did not have a good year. They looked pretty bad at certain points. There was a lot of good, a lot of bad. They could have been really good this year with their pieces, but it didn't work out, and I'm looking forward to 2020 and them having a big rebound. Now, looking at TSM, despite them having a good spring and just going to the toilet in the next split, obviously TSM has a massive fan base. I mean, TSM, Cloud9, and TL all have big fan bases, so that's also going to give them a boost in viewership anyway. And these guys are the most popular three teams we've had all year. This was NA's top three, and just like with EU, this is also EU's top three as well. So the top three teams obviously are going to get more viewers based off that alone. But looking at these smaller teams like Clutch taking up the 4th place spot, Clutch taking up the 4th place spot is actually ridiculous. And how the flying fuck did FlyQuest ever take up this last spot? But remember, you must make sense out of this is that, you know, it's for those two teams, I don't think it's just brand. I think it just has to do with players. You know, Clutch really came into their own toward the end of the year. FlyQuest came into their own and peaked in spring and then collapsed in summer. So that's kind of where I see FlyQuest at. I think that when you look right here, I was expecting to see 100 Thieves actually here. But hey, it looks like some of those teams aren't really as popular as some people would like to believe. So let's look at some of these numbers. American counterparts has shown themselves in a similar way. The representatives of Team Liquid became the most popular in 2019. The team receives 244,000 average viewers. The hours watched have reached a figure of 13,284,000. Such a result was quite predictable. The team's roster has occupied the top spot for the whole year. Liquid has won twice, both in regular parts of the LCS and the matches for the title itself. The guys from Team Solo Mid become the second in the region. This team has gathered 240,000 average viewers at their matches, as well as displayed the result of 13,626,000 hours watched. It is worth noting that for TSM, it is the second year already without a trip to the World Championship. The team has great difficulties when it comes to decisive fights, although when it comes to the regular part, it is consistently located in the top portion of the list. In 2019, many followed their attempt to correct the situation, and although this did not work out, they have managed to gather a enough amount of spectators at their matches. The bronze of the NA Championship populator rankings went to Cloud9. The team has collected 213,000 average viewers and 11 million hours watched. In this case, we have strong contestants for league's middle positions. The team has not reached the title of the best for a long time already. However, last year's makes it away to the main championship of the years and follows with good enough performance. This time, the situation has not changed, and Cloud9 continue the tradition with only one caveat: at LOL Worlds 2019, for the first time since 2015 ever, the team's roster did not manage to proceed further than the group stage. Yeah, that's why I'm glad Cloud9 are making these changes right now. They've needed changes for a long time. I'm glad they're here. I don't really care what people say. We need changes. That's just the fact of the matter is you can keep your fanboy bias opinions to yourself. Cloud9 needs changes. And that's just how it is. I mean, we haven't won in a very long time. I would like to win eventually because that's just what I'm feeling. Now, look at all these. This is crazy. So, it should be noted that the most popular teams are going to be Fnatic, G2, TL, and then TSM, Cloud9, and Origin are the top 6 most watched Western League of Legends teams that I've watched for this year from the average viewer. Looking at the other 4 people from Splice, Vitality, and SK and Misfits, look how right here, there is no NA right here. The last NA team is Cloud9, and then the rest of this is all EU. Now, you look at this, 172 to 171, then you look at all of this. FlyQuest and Clutch are not too far, but people even from North America, I'd imagine, are still watching EU. Like, I watch EU. I just think I enjoy it better. I mean, I know people don't like me when I say that, but I enjoy it better. I'm sorry. It is what it is at the end of the day. I like watching EU more. No hate toward North America. I love living here, obviously. This is my region, and I like Cloud9. But, we've kind of sucked for a while. And people, after a while, are going to go, fuck. They keep talking about getting better, but they're not getting better. At some point, you can tell me shit to my face, but unless you actually start doing it, really doesn't mean anything now, does it? When making a summary of both regions to derive a single big picture, we got an extremely interesting situation. Out of the top 10, only 3 representatives belong to LCS. The top of the North American Championship has featured only Liquid, TSM, and Cloud9. These teams took 3rd through 5th spots. In all other cases, we are seeing teams from Europe. This happened because of a rather commonplace reason. The debut of LEC, the European Championship, has finished its first year on a high note. The difference in results between LCS and LEC has caused such an incredible gap between the competitions. Along with this, we can name the most popular team in the West, Fnatic. Players of this organization were able to achieve the highest score among the main competitions of the Western Hemisphere, despite the fact that Reckless and company did not manage to repeat their incredible performance in 2019. They are still the most popular in their league. Even the winners of the mid-season invitational in G2 Esports could not prevent this. An interesting year awaits us ahead in each league. There have been changes both to the list of participants and the representatives of respective rosters. We will continue to monitor this topic in order to share our observations with you. I liked this website. I'm actually going to use this for something later on. But I do actually personally enjoy this. And I think this is a very good thing in terms of looking at when people talk about fan bases and when people talk about who's actually watching the games. Now you actually have something to judge it off of. And like I said before, I don't like using stats, but this is for viewership, so this is kind of pretty much, I think, one of the best tools so far here. And I think that this is going to be one of the best things moving forward to see which Western team does have a lot of people actually invested into their time. You can see a lot of people are invested into Fnatic, TSM, G2, TL, Cloud9, stuff like that. And you have a few of these smaller EU teams really starting to gain some traction. And it's like, what can the other teams from North America do to gain this traction? I mean, you got to just start winning. Like, it's not even just winning titles. It's like, just stop saying bullshit and just actually do it. And stop making shitty rosters. Like, it's in 2019 and people still can't build correctly in terms of rosters. It's like, holy crap. Like, what can people do to really make it better? I think that out of all these guys right here, you got to factor in these are still the most popular 5 right here for Fnatic, G2, TL, TSM, and Cloud9. These are the most popular 5 Western League of Legends orgs. I mean, that goes without saying in terms of these stats, right? But you look at the rest of these guys, there's nothing in NA here. I mean, whether or not you choose to believe it or not, EU's just better, and that should automatically be the case here. Yes, I do believe EU get easy groups on various occasions, but, you know, that doesn't really matter in terms of viewership. This is someone actually watching you because they want to watch you. Whether or not you have drama, or whether or not you're actually somebody that players actually want to care for, these are the teams people care for. And if you want to be cared for, if you want to get more fans, or whatever your goal is for the aspects of League of Legends to be a lot higher, then you're going to have to most likely do something to increase this. Now, whether or not it's winning or making it to finals or making a complete crazy run, something has to change. But I think these guys are going to be the top 5 for a very long time. I don't think there's anything changing anytime soon. EU has never really had a third guy so far. It's just been pretty much Fnatic and G2 for a very long time. So I'm really interested to see where Europe goes this year. And I also posed the question to you guys, can EU make finals, world finals, 3 times in a row? If they do that and they win, hey, be nice to finally have a Western League of Legends team finally win. But yeah, see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all enjoy. See you guys in my next video. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out. Goodbye.
Hi there guys, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.